I literally built a system that made getting jacked mindless. And I'm talking like completely brain dead mindless. But this isn't some goofball ass 10-minute life hack style video. This is a real system centered around one of the most overlooked concepts on earth, your environment. AKA your surroundings, the things you associate with on a daily basis. You see, most people have the mindset that they are a victim of their environment, but little do they know they can rearrange it to benefit them precisely. And they can design it in a way to make getting in shape the obvious choice, make it effortless. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how I designed my social, physical, and mental environments to perfectly align my life with getting in amazing shape. And I promise if your dopamine receptors aren't fried and you actually make it to the end of this video, you're gonna have every tool you need to do the same exact thing and probably have an easier time than I did. So without further ado, let's get into the sauce, man. Isn't the human brain so weird, dumb, and confusing? Like, we know we want to get in great shape, but we repeatedly do things that go against that. Like, we know what the consequences will be from eating an entire box of crumble cookies by yourself or staying up till 6 a.m. playing Minecraft and smoking weed, but we just can't seem to turn that switch off. Well, the common answer would be, oh, you don't have enough self-respect, you don't have enough self-discipline, your mind just hasn't adapted to making these correct decisions. But the problem isn't even you, bro. It's the stuff that's around you. Every object, every visual, every person, it influences your behavior in some weird, hard to understand way. You might associate a specific chair on your patio with drinking beer. You see the couch and you want to watch TV after a long day at work. You get a notification and you want to stay on your phone for hours. You hang out with that one friend and all of a sudden you're up till 4 a.m. drinking vodka and doing bullshit. And so chances are, if you feel like you're holding yourself back from getting in the shape you want to be in, you're not an issue. Your environment just fucking sucks. But I didn't always understand this concept. You know, before I'd been lifting for 6 years and I was a personal trainer and fitness coach, I was stuck in a very similar place. I wanted to get in this amazing shape and change my life, and I didn't really understand why I wasn't able to get there. And I was at this stupid like 3 a.m. motivation style mindset where I was like, I need to fix everything in my life. And if these actions aren't based on self-improvement, then it's a waste of time. So I bought this book, Atomic Habits. And if you don't know this book, it's an amazing self-improvement book, and it's actually what inspired me to make this exact video, and I'll leave a link for it in the description. But I came across this section in the book that more or less explained to me why I should design my environment and how to design my environment. You know, I had open bags of chips everywhere. I had every TV in the house on. You know, I had unhealthy shit laying around. There was nothing in my immediate surroundings that influenced me to want to get in shape. It all influenced my past identity and past behaviors. But I gave it an honest go, and the first thing I decided to change was my physical environment. Your physical environment is basically the stuff around you, you know, places, things, objects, things like that. But where do I start with this? You know, I have junk food everywhere. I got a dirty ass room, and my house looks like one of those old I Spy books. But I figured out what I needed to do. I needed to design that physical environment to not only get me excited to work out, but to fill it with things that reminded me to work out and put me in the right headspace. For starters, I set reoccurring reminders on my calendar to remind me to work out. I set it an hour before and then 15 minutes before. I would also set out my gym bag the night before, so immediately when I would wake up, I would be like, oh, gym bag, I gotta lift today. And I removed all of the junk food from my house so there was no temptation to begin with. You know, I put a fruit bowl out in the kitchen and filled it up with fruit. And I filled my fridge with meal prep items and shit like that. So the only choice was the convenient choice, which was healthy stuff. And I even put a whiteboard in my room reminding me of my specific fitness goals. But don't overthink this. These are immediate changes that are so easy to make. I basically tricked my mind into a few basic things. Constantly being reminded about the gym and about my nutrition. Constantly reinforcing my identity by having my goals present and having gym-related shit around me. And having a healthy kitchen. But I also made it so things that would cause me friction in the past, like eating healthy or going to the gym, had a lot less friction and made them the convenient choice. But at that point, what else needed to be done? What else could I do to make getting in shape that much more effortless? Redesigning my social environment. Look, I love my day one friends to death, and if they're seeing this video, they know I love them to death. but none of them work out consistently. And it made it pretty tough for me to want to work out because just like you guys, I like doing shit with my friends. If you think items have a way of influencing you, wait till we talk about people. The people you spend the most time with are the people you're gonna emulate and compare yourself to. If all of your friends like vandalizing shit and eating mushrooms with special powers, then you will also like vandalizing shit and eating weird plants. Now, I'm not telling you how to live your life, but if your goal is to get in shape, you should associate with people who also want to get in shape. I don't have that guru mindset of needing to cut off your friends if they're holding you back from XYZ. You should be friends with people based on their character and how much they mean to you, right? All I'm saying is, at the very least, if none of your friends do this shit, build some friendships that do. That's all. When your friends do the same shit that you do, it builds a sense of community. It builds a sense of camaraderie, and you'll have a shared community based around your love for the gym. It makes it incredibly easy to show up. But let's look at this from another perspective as well. It's human nature to compare yourself to the people in your life. Let's say you're trying to build strong fitness habits, but your immediate circle is completely sedentary. They don't work out at all. Let's say you have to get 5 workouts in. That's your goal. If you only get 1 in, oh, I only hit 1 out of my 5 workouts, but all my friends are like gaming and chilling and staying up late. You know, I'm doing better. But imagine if all your friends worked out 5 days a week and they were incredibly in shape. All of a sudden, you're comparing your progress to that, which some might view as toxic, but I see it as helpful. It's a guiding tool. Oh shit, I only got 3 out of my 5 workouts in. I'm sure all my boys got all 5 in and ate their meals. I should probably get my other 2 workouts in. You see what I'm saying though? The social environment is incredibly important, but there was still one more aspect of my environment that I hadn't touched yet. And this was much harder to change than the objects in my house and the friends I associate myself with. It was the stuff going on in my own head. I didn't even realize how shitty my mental environment was until I paid attention to the way I talked to myself on a daily basis. The self-deprecation, the self-hatred, the self-doubt, you know, I could list another 100 terms. You know, I didn't pay attention to the stuff I was feeding my mind all the time to influence my decisions. You know, I'd scroll through Instagram and see guys with 7 years of training and perfect physiques going about their business, doing their workouts, and I'd be like, shit, man, I don't have that. I shouldn't even try. And then I would just blow everything off. And I would have these cycles where I would lift hard for a little bit and then fall off, and I'd keep repeating that cycle. And so I just fed this narrative to myself like, I'm the guy that quits. That's just who I am. But the mental environment is the hardest one to change because it's something you keep feeding yourself every day and you don't even realize it. So I basically changed what I fed my mind. I watched content that actually helped me grow as a person, not shit that made me feel terrible about myself. I wrote down all my small wins every time I completed a workout, every time I ate a good meal, every time I gained some weight on the scale, every time I hit a PR on squat, bench, or deadlift. You know, I would write that shit down. And this is what built proof in my mind that I could do the things that I needed to do by writing down my small wins. And I also paid a lot more attention to the way I spoke to myself. I came to this realization that negative self-talk never really takes you anywhere. And I really thought about it, like, what if a friend talked to me the way that I talk to myself when nobody's around? I would hate that guy. I'd probably want to beat the shit out of him, right? But the best mental shift that I made to clean up that environment was just acting as if I'd already achieved the goal. As if I was already shredded, as if I was already disciplined, as if I was already confident with my shirt off. Like, how would that guy act? How does that guy view himself? What does he do? What does he prioritize? And I just faked it till I made it, basically. But realistically, brother, if you clean up your physical environment, you know, remove the junk food, set reminders for yourself to stick with the things you need to stick to, and make sure your immediate surroundings reinforce that identity in you. If you clean up your social environment so the people you're hanging out with are doing the same shit you're doing and influencing you to stick with that path, and you're cleaning up your mental environment so you're talking to yourself a little kinder, you're motivating yourself by noticing your wins, and you're building an authentic love for the sport, then you are going to be in the perfect position to get in the best shape of your life, because everything in your life is now aligned for you to do exactly that. But I don't want you to just click on and click off of this video without taking part in a good action step. With your physical environment, ask yourself, what's pulling me off track? What little items in my day-to-day life are making me make the wrong decisions? What can I add to my space to reinforce what I'm trying to do? Do I set my gym bag out? Do I put a healthy fruit bowl on the kitchen counter? Do I put up little corny posters that remind me to stick with my goals. Think of one thing you can remove and one thing you can add, and do that today. Number 2, do a little bit of inventory on your friends and the people you hang out with. If none of them are influencing you to make gym progress, doesn't mean you need to cut them off, but figure out how you could go out and make more friends that like doing the same shit that you want to get into. The easiest way is to just go to the gym and socialize. That's literally what I did. And number 3, start feeding your brain better information. Write down all your small wins during this process and talk to yourself with kindness. And over time, as you keep doing this, you will make exercise and proper nutrition a mindless activity. But none of that shit matters if you're making a bunch of stupid mistakes every time you go to the gym. So check out this video that I'm gonna leave above on the top 7 gym mistakes you didn't know you were making and that you need to stop doing. And I hope you have a great day. And I hope this helped.